Good morning, Portland, Oregon. Good afternoon, Wisconsin and New York, and everyone out on the East Coast. And hey, good evening to those of you in Europe. We do have some European viewers. We've got some from the UK, some from Belgium, even one from Estonia, and one from, where is this? This is Spain. Yes, we have viewers from all over the world tuning in to the Hawk Report. Whoa, Nelly, as Dish would say. Boy, do we have a lot of cards to talk about today. Dish, you caught us off guard there. You caught us off guard with that surprise with the perfects. Here I am, ready to start up. Dish has finished all the diamonds in record time. And I'm like, okay, he's saying he's got a delay time. I better start my stream. So boom, started my stream. And then boom, he says, no, we're not quite done yet. We've got some other cards we have to talk about, some perfect cards. So yes, your kidneys will be along very, very shortly. And we will do our usual routine. We'll look back at cards from the past. We'll look at these cards. We'll do our generation showdown. We're tied 3-3, by the way. And yes, we will have the kidneys rant at the end of the show. If you are new to the stream, I am Laptop Hound. I stream Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at around this time, 1:15-ish Eastern Standard Time. So thank you for tuning in. And if you like baseball history and you like the movie The Matrix, well, Tuesdays is my Babe in the Matrix series. Babe went back home to Baltimore this week and played for the 2023 Baltimore Orioles, where he cracked 44 home runs in that 2023 season. So every week, Babe is on a new team in the 2023 season. There is a contest where you have to predict home runs, RBIs, hits, and runs that he has with that team. And Vasherized was the winner on Tuesday, closest to the total number of all these four categories for Babe in Baltimore. And guess what? Next week, he's going to Boston. Yes, he is going back to Boston. And we will see if the 1927 Babe can break his 60 personal home run record when he goes back to play for Boston on Tuesday. As Dish mentioned, if you don't have OOTP yet, if you're looking for a second license because you are just wanting more and more theme teams, you said 3 isn't enough, 4 isn't enough, I need 6 or 7 theme teams. Well, 25% off. The Sports Fest sale is on right now where you can get the game for 25% off on Steam, on PC, Mac. Points and things like that aren't on sale, but the combo, the bundle package, you can get that on for the rest of this week too. So if you're looking to pick up a copy, speaking of coffee, oh boy, do I have the coffee going today. If you're looking to pick up the copy, now's the time to get it, 25% off. Also, check out the forums on OOTP, a wealth of information, and you can put in your bug report too. If you have any bugs about OOTP, put them on there. They've got a section right there that you can throw in your issues that you're having with the game or promote your online league. You can talk about Perfect Team, all that kind of stuff right on the official forum site. And something I just discovered a couple weeks ago, OOTP has their own merch. Yes, on the OOTP site, you can go and check out some of the merch that they have there. T-shirts, mugs, hoodies, little OOTP 24 stickers, and even for Franchise Hockey Manager, they have a few things there. And no, the price does not go up when you go to extra large or double large. The price is the same. So check out the merch shop on OOTP. I saw Your Kidneys when he was doing one of his interviews the other day. He had on his OOTP 21 t-shirt, and I guess they had merch way back then too. So yes, go check out the merch shop. And I know it's expensive for shipping to Canada compared to the US, but hey, they got some cool stuff. And final promotion here is OOTP Go. If you don't have it, if you're unaware, you can get this game on the mobile, on your iPad, your Samsung tablet, your phone. Go to the Google Play Store, go to the App Store. It is free to download, where you can play fictional leagues, your perfect team. You can play the current season and a few historical seasons they've added in. And you can always purchase a few other historical seasons too. As always, the giveaways will take place at the end of the show today. 2 of you will walk away with some packs that hopefully will get you closer to finishing some of your new missions that are posted up. So the new missions are up on the card shop. Well, it is that time to bring in my co-host, the one, the only. If he's not playing OOTP, you can find him down at the local Starbucks, maybe having a coffee, playing some Marvel Snap. Welcome back to the Hawk Report number 8. Your kidneys. Your kidneys. What's up? What's going on? How you doing on this fine Thursday?
I'm good. Lots of new cards today. I was hoping to get off a bit easier, and then looks like Out of the Park had some other ideas. But that's cool. So we got a lot of content to get through. We got some LEs, a bunch of perfect cards. The missions are interesting. I was just taking a look at those. It looks like they're position based and probably pretty easy to complete, which is kind of cool. So I expect we'll be seeing a lot of perfect build lineups over the next week.
All right. Well,
very doable. So
yeah, there'll be a lot of interest in those build lineups and finishing those missions. Well, people may be wondering, well, what's the theme this week, Laptop? What do we have for our thumbnail rather than just kind of the regular, Hawk Report? Well, I'm not going to let you guys down. We do have a theme. It is a generational theme, and it is Beavis and Butthead. So, kidneys, have you ever seen the show before?
I haven't actually seen it. I mean, I've seen a few clips of it. I roughly know what it's about, but roughly a sense of it.
Yeah, you go. We're going to talk about the card. Yeah, it is a MTV show that I never really got into. As people, there are a few Beavis and Butthead fans in the audience there. Never really got into it, but I just love the fact that, hey, your photo there fit perfectly in that AC/DC and those red shorts. And me and my Metallica shirt. So we are ready to go with the Beavis and Butthead version of OOTP. So at least you've heard of it, unlike Speed, unlike some of those other Step Brothers. We've had it.
I've heard of them. I haven't watched them.
It's an acquired taste. That's all I'll have to say. And as Slinky says, cappuccino. It's just annoying talking like that, but I may do that from time to time today. All right, let's get to our icebreakers here, and I'm going to give you, again, just since we're talking about kind of the 80s and 90s, remember that, Kidneys and I come from different generations. He is Gen Z, and yes, he is kind of at the early part of the Gen Z generation. I am from the Gen X, the coolest generation. Look at that 60s and 70s pose there with the sunglasses and the unbuttoned first couple buttons, going into the 80s with the purple shirt. Kidneys is the sunglasses and the iPhone in his hand. Always a device he's got to be holding in his hand. So all you Gen Xers out there, give me some support. Gen X is the best generation. But let's see what Kidneys knows about the current Gen Xers and some of the things we grew up with in the 80s and 90s. Of course, that's why I had to pick Kidneys too. Look at this. He's holding a cell phone. Like that is Kidneys right there. He's got the hair. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, there he goes. One more time, kidneys, with the pose there with your phone here. There we go. We got the kidneys pose. Let's see. Let's put them on the big screen.
Okay.
All right, you're in the big bit. Okay. All right, and you know what? Here's more of a lifelike Beavis and Butthead. So I think it's really close to Kidneys and I after a Hawk report on a Thursday. This is kind of how we feel. If I didn't have my coffee, I would definitely be like that Metallica guy on the right-hand side. All right. Well, enough Beavis and Butthead for now. Let's get you a few quizzes here. These are some of the words and terms I grew up with in the 80s and 90s. I'm going to give you some easy ones. All right. Let's see if you can interpret them. All right, kidneys. Word.
I feel like when I was young, this was popular for a little bit, but I was real little. I'm pretty sure it's like somebody says something like cooler that you agree with, and so you just say word. Okay.
Word, man. You got it. Yes. Basically, cool, or I agree with you. You're on track. So back in the 80s and 90s, saying word was the equivalent of saying I agree, or hey, that's pretty cool. You're on topic. Yeah. So hey, pretty good. 1 for 1. All right, the next one. Hey, kidneys, catch my drift?
Gosh. I mean, it's. Do you get what I'm saying, right? It's what I believe it is. I don't know if this is like. I don't think it's something I ever used, but I've heard it on TV, probably from older things.
So, kidneys, can you crank up your volume a little bit? Mine's probably a little loud, and yours is probably a little soft. So I'll turn mine down a bit.
Hold on. I'll try this. Yep. Yeah. I can go louder too. Windows. It's always messing with my mic volume for some reason.
All right, that's definitely better. Well, that's pretty gnarly.
I don't think Windows messing with my mic volume is gnarly at all. I mean, I feel like there's 2 versions of gnarly though. It could be like gnarly gross or gnarly cool, right?
Oh.
So
maybe I always used it more as the gnarly kind of cool. That's gnarly. That's rad. That's cool, man. Yeah. Okay. You're good. Good so far. You're getting these. Well, this was in the 90s when this show came out, but it's still on. So this should be an easy one. Eat my shorts.
It's Simpsons. And I've never actually watched Simpsons, but there was a meme a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, where it was a very, as we call, deep fried picture of Bart, and it just said "eat pant," and that was it. So I do know what this means. I don't know if I should explain it on stream, but I do know what "eat pant" means. Yes.
Well, okay, we'll leave it up to everyone's imagination what "eat pants" is. All right, here's one from the 80s. Gag me with a spoon.
Oh, I have no idea. Are we allowed to talk about this?
This is a family-friendly channel. There is a family-friendly answer to this.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I have absolutely no idea.
It's just kind of like, oh man, that's stupid, or that's gross, or that kind of thing. Like a turn-off kind of thing, like gag me with a spoon, like that's gross. When did laptop turn into Matt Healy? Well, burner guy, I have no idea who Matt Healy is.
You don't want to be Matt Healy. We'll keep going.
Okay, tubular, good, because I'm a Gen Xer. I don't know who Matt Healy is. How about tubular?
Totally tubular. I don't really know. I mean, I've heard it used in the context of like something is cool, but maybe it's more specific than that.
To be tubular, or better still, totally tubular, is to be remarkable and breathtaking. So kidneys, we are totally tubular, right? All right, and one more for you. Remember, this is a family-friendly channel, but this was a common phrase from the 1980s. Kidneys, where's the beef?
It's a common phrase. I'm pretty sure I've only heard this used by several different fast food companies insulting each other. I guess, like, in the context of another phrase, like looking for like the meat in something is like the like what has value in it, right? So maybe you're looking for like the important part of something. But I don't really know.
I'm going to give that one to you. You are hot. You are on fire today. This was the advertising slogan from Wendy's from back in the 1980s, where we had these three elderly ladies, and they were looking at different hamburger buns and patties, and they were looking at, this hamburger here that had a very small little hamburger patty on it, and this lady here on the right would yell out, "Where's the beef? Where's the beef?" And she would just yell that out because she wanted more hamburger on her bun there. And this became a very popular commercial, and that phrase just kind of was thrown around. Like you said, where's the sustenance? Where's the good stuff here? And so, yeah, it was really popular ad campaign for Wendy's. So there you go. You nailed most of them. I'm going to give you most of those. So very good stuff. Well, as someone mentioned in the chat, I thought this was an OOTP stream. Well, it is. We will get to that. But if you watch me, I'm like Johnny Carson. I'm a variety guy, and I like to talk about a lot of things. And let's get on to it with the beginner's guide. So I thought this week, for those new players out there, especially with so many missions coming in today, now when we look at the mission screen, there's a lot there compared to 3, 4, or 5 weeks ago. And again, this can become overwhelming for those new people that look at all these missions and go, where do I start? Where do I begin? What do I go with first? So Kidneys, what is your opinion? What is your advice for those new people out there that are just getting into the game and looking at their mission screen? Give us the Kidneys 101.
I think the obvious one that if you're a returning player or a newer player that I would just recommend you knock off is the live series. There's a lot of good cards in here. Now post the May update, a lot of the missions are very easy to complete, especially the level 1 missions. Mixed throughout here are all sorts of cards. So you could easily make a team at like a pretty decent competitive level just using these cards alone. So again, live cards are like, when you open a pack and you see like a bronze card, it has a 70% chance to be a live card, a 30% for a historical card. So you get more live cards just by opening packs, playing the game. They're the most common cards. So you can get these missions out of the way for really cheap and heavily improve your team. I would also say this, the Tops Bunt mission is actually pretty accessible. And if you build it using some of the better cards like Bregman, and Trammel would probably be my recommendation. Then all you need is a gold card, and you can get this Mookie Betts. It'll probably cost you 70, 80K. But I think for what you get out of it, it's like a really good value. And I also think, I haven't looked super deep into it, but in terms of like, this is good value. It seems like these build a lineup missions are rather easy. The perfect ones, these diamond ones up top. Looks like they're a variety of cards at the different positions. So if it turns out the whole set together isn't too bad to complete, maybe that's more of your long-term goal, because Mickey Mantle, obviously, really great card. And getting him in some of these perfects would vastly improve the quality of most of the teams out there. So,
all right, so start with those live missions and then kind of go from there. All right, so there you go. For the beginners, I always like to give some of you new people to the game a little bit of a starting point, because I know I was there once, Kidneys was there once, and there's so much to do with this game, whether it's Perfect Team Live, whether it's the base game, franchise play, Perfect League, mission. There's just so much to do that I like to give a little bit of advice along the way. Let's look back now at some of the cards from the previous weeks. Just, one card that maybe has impressed you or not impressed you, some advice you want to give. I'll go first on this one. For me, a card that's been doing well for me, and it's no surprise. I mean, this but it is a gold and maybe under the radar for a lot of people, a lot of new people. But this card's been doing really, respectable for me in the bullpen. I'm only in gold league right now, and he's kind of holding his own with an ERA around 3. Again, strikeouts are there. The whip is really good. This is a card that I think you recommended weeks ago that was one of the top closers in the game at that time. What are you feeling about this card now at the current part of the game? Really good pitcher, BABIP, low on the home runs, a little low on control. But like I said, I'm still getting a lot of good use out of it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things about cards having this great pitcher BABIP right away is that you can't really get better than this, right? Like Tom, I think of any pitcher that threw more than 90 innings in a season, I believe the 1983 is the lowest BABIP against in, like, I don't know if it's modern history or all-time baseball. It's a crazy number, right? So as the game goes on, you're probably never going to see more than 128 pitcher BABIP. You're just going to kind of see the rest of the card fill in, right? So maybe as other cards fill in and have similar pitcher BABIPs, they slowly catch up. But I think right now this card is kind of a mile above the rest of the pack and what it can do just against right-handed batters. So if you're playing a lot of left-handed starting pitching, your opponents are going to have righty hitters, and then this guy comes in and shuts them down. It's an excellent card. I play it in a lot of gold tournaments. It will play in league for a lot of teams as well. So
okay. Good. Yeah. So go and get that. And it's a respectable price. I don't know if you have it there on the card shop if you're still there, but I think last I checked, it was going for about 4,000 on the card shop for him. But yeah,
that's the P10 on it now is like 3.6. Yeah. No, it's reasonable. I mean, most of the gold cards are pretty reasonably priced, and this is certainly a great addition if you're playing gold stuff. So.
All right. So that is my look back, my card of the past, and still playing really well. Kidneys, your look back, the card that you want to talk about is a player we all recognize, we all know. Tell us a little bit about that A-Rod tournament card.
So there's going to be a little bit of the Red Sox fan in me. I like the where's the beef here because that's an excellent point. I see this card everywhere, and I get it's a super accessible card, right? Because it's a high diamond tournament reward. There aren't that many of them. Everybody has them. A shortstop with 84 range. Stop playing it. It's not good. It's not good in like rookie league. I know the bat is really enticing and cool. It's just completely not playable. And all the time when people ask me to look at their lineups and their pitching, and they're like, "Oh, my pitchers aren't doing well, and my guys aren't hitting." The number one mistake is people are just playing terrible defenses. And like I said, you cannot make a good team in league play. And now in the new tournament environment that has this card on it, don't play it. It's really bad. Out of the park, shortstop, second base, center field. If you're not playing top level defense at those positions, like probably 95% of the time, you're doing it completely wrong. So
what would you say then, talking about defense and playable, is the bare minimum for, say, infield range, outfield range? Would you say like 90 or even higher than that?
I think right now, right now what we're looking at, I wouldn't go below 90 in center field, shortstop. Second base is a little harder because the card pool's different. But then you have to go into league and like compare with, somebody like Jackie, right? And Jackie's coming in with 97. And the way league works, it's a little different than tournaments, right? But if you're in perfect league or a good diamond league and there's a lot of Jackies, it's going to make other second basemen worse a little relatively, right? And so then you're pressed to play even higher. So like, I didn't have like an end game second baseman like a Jackie or a Tony Phillips. I'm probably just playing like a silver Bob Ferguson or one of the gold future legends, Tovar. I would play Tovar at second, something like that. Just all glove, you'll get a lot more value out of something like a Chuck Knobloch, which is just going to have the same problem of not being playable because of the defense. So.
Okay. And are you specifically kind of referring to second base, shortstop, center field? Or are you talking about all fielders?
I think in general, all fielders, probably not as much first base and third base, but third base still a bit. Defense is being criminally undervalued right now, and I know that's probably the number one mistake newer players make, just because it's not entirely obvious how much value defense has in this game. But like, you really can't play like 60 range cards in corner outfield. Even 70 range cards in corner outfield are going to struggle compared to some of the other stuff. So play more defense. You'll win games. Trust me.
All right. Okay, so defense. Focus on the defense, especially the range. Well, let's get on to the card report. I have more tabs open than I think I've ever had before because so many things going on. And I know people tease me about, oh, Lapa, I can't handle it. You got so many tabs open. But for me, it's organization. For me, it's easy to go from tab to tab in sequence and go on to these different talking points. So let's get on to the card report. And as we always do, let's talk about some of the cards that were released last week, the LE cards, the limited edition cards. We didn't get a chance to talk about Delahanty because he came out the day or the day after the last talk report. I really like this card. I'll bring up your screen now. You can talk about the Ed Delahanty. I think one of the top 3 LE cards so far, and definitely a card I would want to have. And one of my viewers, Cubs fan Steve, managed to pull this one, I think, on Tuesday in his packs, along with pulling a Napoli on the very same day. So talk about pack luck there. Cubs fan Steve, congratulations on this Delahanty. What do you think?
I feel like people are sleeping on this one a little bit. I'm kind of unsure why. I think up until probably today and Mr. Mickey Mantle, this was such a crazy versus left-handed bat. And the right-handed bat isn't even bad. I think the left-handed bat again is doing disservice to the right-handed bat by making it look bad. But I went out and I bought a Will Clark after the changes Monday and to play in League, and this card versus righties is very comparable to Will Clark, and the versus left bat is just out of this world. So I think this card is a first baseman for a very long time VL. I mean, it's a little hard to say because now Mantle is technically a little higher, and then you run into this weird DH issue. But overall, I think this card's really strong. I'm not entirely sure what it's worth, but I'm really surprised to see no sells so far and such a low buy order on it. So,
okay, yeah. So long time first baseman versus VL should be a card. Again, only 25 of them, but a card that you might want to look for and put in a buy order. And just a great player too. He always seems to have really good cards in the game. I think last year was it one of the platinum cards, Platinum 4 or something like that. Can't remember which Delahanty we had.
I can't remember. I think he might have been after Plat. I don't quite remember, but he always gets good card. I mean, he was an incredible baseball player, one of the best to ever do it. So it's very fun to have an excellent one of him.
Another one they released late last week, not 100. This was the first kind of whoa, we got a non-100. This pretty close. I mean, 99. We could almost call it 100. Latham, again, really good player, third baseman, kind of from that dead ball era. Peak card here with the Cincinnati Reds, giving some Reds fans some love. What do you think about the Latham card? Third baseman, playable for a long time. Give us your thoughts.
I think in League play specifically, this card is very, very good versus lefties. It's not immediately coming to mind where his platoon partner is, because a lot of times when card is good one way, you kind of have to find a pair. I guess you pair this card with Gunner, right? That would make a lot of sense. And he's going to be great. The problem is in tournament still, it seems like it's a lot harder to steal than it is in League, and that's going to diminish a lot of this card's value. But again, you're looking at excellent defense. Probably, not forever, but for right now, he'll get on base enough to use his excellent stolen base profile. And so, no, I think this is a good one. Maybe a little undersold. It's just, again, one of those issues where cards with splits like this that are more expensive tend to just become League cards rather than tournament cards, right? So,
okay. Next one we had released was Huey Jennings, and some controversy, again, because it's anytime something new is done by OOTP, there's always different takes on it, good and bad. And this was a limited edition card to 10, so only 10 of these available. I didn't see Dish give an update today how many have been pulled so far, so I don't know if any have been pulled of the Huey Jennings. I think one, because I think there was one sale on it. Is this a long-term shortstop that if you do get one of these cards, he's going to play for you for most of the cycle?
That's such a hard question, right? I think right now, yeah, he's certainly the best shortstop. I think there's been there was 4 pulled yesterday, and I think maybe we're probably over that by now. Looks like another one sold as well. This card's, I mean, it's excellent, right? It's got a great bat. I mean, 94 range is one of the better shortstops right now. Kind of high-level shortstops. The issue is, like, we know we can get more glove, and if you reprint this card with, like, a worse bat, but, like, 6 to 10 more points of range or something, it's probably a lot stronger of a card. So I'm hesitant to say, like, this is an all-cycle card, but, I mean, if you're trying to win immediately, like, you're in perfect league right now, maybe PTCS in 2 weeks, this is still the best shortstop. I mean, it's certainly a very valuable card, but it is interesting that it's at 10, and, you know, a few other things around it. So, I mean, great card. Not sure how long it's going to last. That seems to be a hard thing to decipher right now.
And that's the thing with shortstops too, I mean, for long-term usability down the road, you want that range over 100, right? Because last year we saw the best premier, especially defensive shortstops, were ranges over 100, and this one just doesn't quite get there. So definitely agree with what you're saying. Take a little bit off the bat, add a little bit to defense, and its durability, longevity is going to be a lot longer, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you know, it's also one of those things too, where a lot of times the shortstops that are really great to invest in are the ones that, like, you know, they say second or third base, right? So when they're done with shortstop, you move them to another spot. I don't think this is quite a first base caliber card. So he's probably, you know, shortstop and then time to move on. So I think that just if we're talking longevity, that probably hurts it a little bit as well, right?
Okay. And congrats, Chess Safari, just saying that he pulled a Bellinger with the drop. Congratulations. You know, Kidney's pretty high on Bellinger as a card, so good pull with the Bellinger. All right. Yep. The most recent Ellie, unless there was one introduced today, this was the one that came out yesterday, a gold with the white background. It indicates it's out of 100. The black background, generally, it means it's out of 25. However, the Jennings was out of 10. So there are a lot more of these out there from the Houston Astros. Someone called him kind of a cult figure or a hero in Houston. I don't know the story behind him and his popularity. The Jose Lima card as a starter or in the bullpen. What do you think about this, Ellie?
So one of the implications of how the tournament environment has shifted, right, is we went from 300, like pitcher BABIP averaging out to like 300 against, right? So average pitcher BABIP was like at 50, and now everything was kind of slid up, right? So if you're not at like 80 or higher pitcher BABIP, you're going to actually be allowing like above average BABIP. And so even at 50, I mean, it's the same basic return on pitcher BABIP, and it's just such a low number on this card. I can't see a world in where it plays unless people people can't hit like baseballs anyway. So,
all right, and again, for Houston Astros fans, I know Wildcat Bandit viewer here, big fan of the Houston Astros and the Killer Bees, so probably witnessed a lot of Jose Lima pitching in real life. Again, I don't know the backstory behind his success in Houston. I know he played for a few other teams as well. So ultimately, the pitcher BABIP is kind of what limits this card in terms of its use. Okay, well, that brings us to today's sets and the diamond, and then the surprisingly release of the perfect cards too. Because there are 24 plus the topper, 25 cards to go through, we're not going to focus a lot on the diamonds unless Kidneys feels that there's something that he wants to address with the diamond card. So going to start with George Davis. George Davis, when I think of him in previous versions of the game, the perfect card generally is one of the better shortstops, very defensive, little bit of bat. Anything with the diamond with Davis, or do you want to jump ahead right to the perfect?
I think we're gonna skip most of the diamonds. I was taking a look back. I think there wasn't any that like clearly stood out to me in like a diamond environment, and with the level of these perfect missions, I think they're extremely accessible, and we can just show them to talk about them because I like to see the progression. But I don't think there's any that really stand out to me as like, oh, I'm gonna go use this card specifically, rather than just using the perfect version and something similar. Right. So.
And that's the tough, the catch-22 when you release two of the same player at different levels, because the diamonds almost become like stepping stones. They're just a stepping stone to that perfect card. Like, obviously, in most cases, you're going to want to play the perfect, but you still need the diamond to get the perfect. So, yeah, we'll focus more on the perfect cards here. All right, George Davis, shortstop, third base, center field eligibility, that range. When I look at shortstops, that's the first number I look for. So beginners, when you're looking at shortstops, for me, the first thing I look at is what is their range? And he's at an 88, which is decent, but kidneys, continue.
I don't see where you can play this card. There's a few issues with it. The bat is very Jimmy Ryan plus some I and avoid K, which is a good bat. Shows you how great Jimmy Ryan is. But this isn't making such a crazy dent in league that I'm looking at it at third base, right? Because it's not enough for a shortstop. It's not enough for a center fielder. It's, I don't know. The other issue too is I think immediately we saw a better third baseman today as well. So it's a third baseman that has better options that you're going to unlock at the exact same time. So I'm not really sure where it would play.
All right, yeah, and that's simply put. If there's better cards, you're going to want to go for the better cards. And today we saw a better card come out a little bit later than the George Davis. So most people are probably going to want to shoot for that one instead. So Devil Dog, Mr. Devil Dog, fellow Canadian from Ontario, just posted there that he added all the BL Picture Perfects to his lineup. And so he's going to be a really good test case on how they do. Where are you, Mr. Devil Dog, in terms of league play? What league are you currently in? Are you in gold? Are you in diamond? What kind of test are they going to get? All right, moving on to Reggie Smith. Just a very quick look at his diamond card here. Again, right field, center field, range at 77, and his perfect card. A lot of green, a little bit of blue. Again, mainly a right fielder if you're going to play him, with an 82 range, a little bit of speed, average kind of all over the board. Kidneys, talk about Reggie and your Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were surprised he wasn't a Dodger, but I just looked at his stat page and it definitely looks like he should be a Red Sox. So happy to see another Red Sox represent. I don't think it's enough beef here. The bat certainly isn't good enough VL, and I'm looking VR, and I'm probably wanting, if I'm playing an 80 range right fielder, I'm going to want a lot of bat on it, or I'm going to need somebody more like a Jason Hayward type profile that's going to be like the best glove and a lot worse of a bat, but he's the best glove and he'll get value that way as well. So not huge on the Reggie Smith either.
And I guess, if we look at it from a different, set of eyes, theme team players, and there are a lot of them. There are over 150 theme team players. If you're a Boston Red Sox theme team or anywhere that Reggie Smith fits in, he's going to help your team. Absolutely. Because you're a lot more limited in what you can play on a theme team. So for some people out there, these cards are going to improve their team, maybe not get you to that perfect league level or diamond league level. But if you're in it for the fun and the enjoyment of it, absolutely you can find some use for some of these cards. And I know there are a lot of Red Sox fans out there that probably want to get Reggie Smith just because they're a Red Sox fan. Gary Lavelle, his diamond, very, again, splitty. If the specialist role in the game was like the real life game and how it should function, and I don't know, maybe it does. I've heard good and bad about it, but definitely a guy you want in against your left-handed batters. And then we move to his perfect card and gets even better against the lefties, plus better against the righties. That pitcher BABIP, very splitty, 76 overall. Again, looking at it, I like this card in a certain role, in a certain gameplay situation. What do you think, kid?
I'll just chat comment really quick, because people are asking, because he's a switch hitter, does that just make him innately better as a hitter? It does a little bit. It does depend a bit of the shape of the pitchers that are played in the meta. It is something you can predict pretty well with a proper league tournament setup, because we have splits data. So I think it does give cards a bonus that are borderline, but it doesn't move the needle on Reggie for me. So that would be my take on that. This card is obviously excellent versus lefties. Again, like you're saying, it's the question, do you want a lefty specialist? If you do want a lefty specialist in League, this is probably one of the best options. A good time probably to play a card like this is if you're playing a lot of right-handed starting pitchers and your opponents are hitting lefties against you, then you have this card come out of the bullpen and it's very good. And it'll do that. It has 2 pitches. I know it says 35 stamina, but with 2 pitches only, it will have a penalty in the rotation. So you really can't start it, even if you want to. You could do it. It's going to play a lot worse in the rotation. I saw some people talking about that. So.
And again, for those that are new and don't really understand, putting together a bullpen, putting together their pitching lineup, is this a card that really requires a lot of micromanaging, where you almost game by game have to look at your opposition's lineup rather than just throw it in and let it play wherever?
It kind of depends. I think you can set up this card for success without necessarily needing to check game by game. There's a lot of scenarios where, you just have 5 righty starting pitchers, and you know that the people in this league are playing lefty hitters, right? And so you roll out this card, and he'll get some good use. A card like this is a little dangerous. Normally, when you do a strategy like that, you want to play a ballpark that's also very good for right-handed batters, right? And then you play righty pitchers, and they bring in their lefty hitters, and they're worse, and then you throw a lefty out of the bullpen. The problem is, if your opponent does play righties against you in a righty ballpark, this card's probably getting clobbered. So maybe it's not quite good enough for that. But I think this is still a very valuable piece. If you get this card and you're kind of a middle-of-the-pack team, should absolutely be on it. Right?
And Devil Dog is in Diamond, so he's going to get some good information, at least in the short term, about how these cards are doing with all those perfect pitchers. Moving on to another pitcher, this time Kenley Jensen. Lots of love for the silver Kenley Jensen. The gold Kenley Jensen, really good as well. Here's the diamond here. We see a drop-off compared to the previous cards, and the pitcher BABIP, I believe, seems to be a lot lower. Stuff very high, and then we move on to the perfect one. Pitcher BABIP comes up a little bit, not, still a little splitty, but not compared to the Lavelle card. You study the Jansen cards quite a bit. You know them fairly well. Where does this rank in of that Jansen build a lineup series?
I mean, it's definitely the best one. If I had to rank them, it's probably Diamond, Bronze. Not that the Diamond's worse than the Bronze, but I would much rather play the Bronze in a lot of things. It's probably Diamond, Bronze. Some people debate Gold or Silver, and then the Perfect. The Perfect's definitely the best one. It's very, very good. It's one of those things where, relievers always are a little funny to play. Where you can play a reliever, you should absolutely be playing this card. It's excellent. It's pretty split neutral. It's going to be good enough basically everywhere. I think this is one of the best, if not the best reliever in the game right now. So very happy about this one.
There you go. So yeah, a lot of love for Kenley, his Dodger, and Dish, on stream today said he thinks that he will be a Hall of Famer. I don't know much about the player. Again, focus more on the Canadian kind of team. But yeah, really looking forward to getting a hold of this card. And the mission for this one, Kidney, is it fairly easy one to get? You said most of them were?
I haven't dug specifically into them, and that's because very surprisingly to me, they were all autocomplete, which doesn't normally happen. But
Oh,
most of them look around 200 points, and you can do it with pretty much all qualifying diamond and perfect cards at their specific position, or most of them at least. I'm not entirely sure what it is. These look like more modern. Maybe it's more modern era cards, and then Joe Barry specifically for Kenley. But no, I think these are all look super accessible, and this is a card you should absolutely be adding to your league team. Also, on the note of him being Hall of Fame, he hit 400 saves this year. I don't know if anybody has done that and missed the mark. I'm of the opinion that relief pitchers are criminally underrated for the Hall of Fame, and I think if we were really thinking about the value this guy has added over his 13 years of playing time, he's a no-brainer. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely.
yeah, I think Billy Wagner was close in the last couple of years for getting in as a reliever.
Shouldn't even be a consideration. He should be in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy he's not, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully he'll get in before he drops off the ballot there. And Coach Ruffy says he has the 100 Kenley Jensen and has made him his anytime stopper. So a lot of people going to get some use out of these new cards because they're fairly easily accessible. All right, well, let's go from the pitcher to the catcher here, Ted Simmons. Again, the only build a lineup card that will help me with my Dave Steeb Super 7 theme team is Ted Simmons, because he did play in an all-star game with Dave Steeb. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he is, we see his diamond card here again. Nothing overly impressive at that diamond level. We go up to the perfect level, a lot more blue, eyes a lot better, gap power, catcher ability, again, low for probably what you want. I don't know what you think about, framing and things like that for catchers and pitchers in this year's version of the game. But talk a little bit about Ted Simmons from the St. Louis Cardinals.
He's good. I'm kind of on the fence exactly how good. There's a lot of catchers I kind of have in the same range. The bat is pretty solid, right? Like, I think this card, like, certainly you can play this card. If you have all the cards and you're like, do I play this card at catcher? I think it's a little closer. Definitely the best Ted Simmons we've gotten yet. They've had quite a rough run so far. I think I would still maybe slightly prefer something like a Napoli or like a Joe Mauer to this, but you could certainly play it. Like, it's good. Would be nice to have a little bit. If it said, like, maybe 10 more ability or whatever, I'd be, I think, quite a lot higher on it, just because certainly going to be a below average catcher in terms of what it's framing. But no, the bat is there, right? And the glove is good enough. So I think this is solid. Not spectacular, but it's a good card.
Yeah, I agree. I still like the Napoli catcher card as probably right now still the overall best catcher in the game. But at least this gives, again, another option. Helps me on my theme team, that's for sure. So Ted Simmons from Dylan, a viewer, Dylan's favorite team from the St. Louis Cardinals. Moving on to... All right, welcome back in. Yeah, we missed the ad break. We had just finished off the Ted Simmons report as, again, very usable catcher for your league play, tournament play. Still probably not as good as the Mike Napoli catcher, but a very good Ted Simmons. As his kidney said, probably the best Ted Simmons that we've seen. Moving on to pitchers, we did start talking about Robin Roberts, but then the ad break came on. Really good perfect card compared to the diamond card. So once again, maybe kind of go over the Robin Roberts critique.
Yeah, this card's excellent, obviously. I mean, he's got numbers in the right places right now. The stamina is very fun. I was talking about earlier, the highest card last year was 112. So not entirely sure how deep the card can go, but being it's already a top-level pitcher and you're adding in some nice bonuses with the stamina and the hold runners. I mean, this card is fantastic. It's one of the best starters in the entire game. Very excited to see how it plays out with the crazy control, great pitcher BABIP, all the things I like right now. So.
Yeah, and I think as Devil Dog mentioned, he's got all the perfect pitchers. That probably intrigues me the most with this set today is these pitchers. I think we're seeing some really good improvements in a lot of pitching staffs around OOTP. And as someone mentioned up here, I think it was Chess Safari, the big challenge is figuring out which new cards fit theme teams, which again is part of the fun of it. It adds that new dimension to the gameplay is, okay, here's Robin Roberts. Does he fit my theme team? Because he's a really good pitcher. And as a Philly, well, if you have any kind of Philly or any kind of year that Robin Roberts played, he can fit your theme team. Moving on to the infield, Ben Zobrist, a more recent player from 2009. This was his diamond card here. And again, very versatile, can play many positions. His perfect card, obviously, a little bit better. What do you think about Ben? Ben?
I don't know. I know, Ben. I don't really know. I think for me, in situations where I'd be able to play this card, it's not a real second baseman. We were talking earlier about the importance of defense. I would want more defense at second base than this. And it's not like, maybe if it had Mickey Mantle's bat, I would play it at second base anyway. It only played second. So more of the question is like, do you play this in a corner outfield spot just against lefties? You could. I think there's probably a few better cards out there right now. I was trying to think of like some of the alternatives. Maybe the new Beltran. Obviously, Mookie has right field on lock. If you don't have all the cards, like this certainly could be a platoon corner outfield utility guy. But probably not something that should be on like an end game level team right now. So.
Okay. And you can hear me okay, right? Because I see a few muted comments there. I'm coming through okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Now, again, for the new people out there, when we see a card like this, a perfect card that can play 4 positions well, is this, do you want to use one of your bench spots to have this card to come in a variety of situations? Is it worth using one of your reserve spots for because he can play 4 positions?
No, normally it's not. Cards don't have feelings. I know a lot of people love to pretend cards have feelings and there's morale and hot and cold streaks. Those things don't really exist in Perfect Team like they do in the base game. They're not in Perfect Team though. And you should platoon every single player you can. And so most of the time that leaves you without a spot for a utility player on a well-constructed non-cap roster. And so the only time I would put this on a team is if he was my best versus left. No, they don't. He was the best versus left, like left fielder, right fielder. And that was what he was doing, right? At least half of the time. Get out of my chat. You know I'm right. That's funny though. It's close. Like I said, if you don't have all the cards, you're just doing build a lineup and live missions, you're a newer player like we talked about earlier, certainly play it, but don't have it back up shortstop or probably even second, but especially do not put it at the depth chart at shortstop. You'll just lose games from it. So,
so what you're saying, Kidneys, is on this card, where's the beef? Where is the beef for the Ben Zobrist?
I think a thing a lot of people miss when they're evaluating cards, right, is that if it doesn't start anywhere, it's not good. I don't care if it's like, the 5th best card at every single position. Maybe you'd play it then. But like the reason why somebody like Dink Mothel is so great is because you play him in right field, right? Like you start the card, and then he also can help you with depth and fatigue and things like that, right? So
what you're saying is if you have a card with multi-positional availability, someone like a Martin Digo, they better be really good at one position if you want them on the team, at least one position.
Diego's kind of an exception because he pitches, right? And he's actually a pretty good pitcher. And then you can in caps pitch him and do something else with him, like first base. I think Hamlet won a PTCS last month with Diego pitching and playing first base, right? And so that gives you a little bit more room because you're essentially 2 cards for the price of 1. But yeah, in general, a card is 99% of the time as good as their best position, and that's it, right? Being flexible but bad does not help, right? It really doesn't.
And we're getting people pulling some really good cards. We had a Yuri Perez, I guess, that was just pulled right now. We had the Bellinger pulled earlier. But maybe you might want to Herrick attack, maybe have a private session because, he's starting Zobrist over Jackie because he knew Jackie.
He sold Jackie to finish build the lineup, which... this is a choice. Yeah. Harak and I have been talking for a few years. He has some choices on how he likes to play the game, which, more power to you if that's how you like to do it. By the way, the guy who pulled Yuri has also pulled, I think, Joss and Grover and maybe one other big pitcher. So we talk a lot too, and I'm not surprised at this point. He just Joss, Feller, and Grover. He just keeps doing it, right?
Well, and we got just grab the tops Mookie to take over and right. Probably a really good call there. Yeah. Cards may not have feelings, but what about cards that are good teammates? Don't they deserve a place in your lineup?
There's also no chemistry in Perfect Team as much as people want to pretend there is. I don't know.
All right. It is Yuri Day.
By the way, I'm a huge Ben Zobrist fan. I think he's one of the best players of the past, decade. Like he's an unbelievable talent. So I'm not slighting him for that reason. I separate my cards from my players. I think a lot of people might be a little better if they did as well,
Yeah, just playing devil's advocate here. Yes, we all know Ben Zobrist is a great card. All right, the Mickey Lolich starter card here is the Diamond 95. Again, splitty, better against the left-handed batters. We're definitely getting some pitchers that are strong against the lefties. 117 stamina. Yeah, this guy has some endurance. And then the perfect card, 109 stamina. A lot more balanced than we saw. A lot better against the righties here. Pitcher Babbitt, decent. Is the splittiness going to cost you in using this guy as a starter?
Not at all. I think this card, I have it a little higher than Roberts. They're both very, very comparable. They're both elite options. I think, would I say every team? Every team probably should be playing both of these cards. Unless maybe if you have Grover and Feller and Atlee, you don't. But I don't know if there's a person in the game who has all three. Play both of these cards when you get them, because again, they're affordable and easy to get. And great card. You play it everywhere. I know people are going to be a little scared of the splits. Don't be. He's still really, really good VR. And it's nice having a great lefty arm, because those are a lot of the time hard to find. Just historically, there's less of them. So very happy with this one.
Well, that's quite the thumbs up there for a couple of the pictures that came out today. So putting Lolich and Roberts in there with Addie Joss and Grover Cleveland, and we're going to see a lot of these two cards now, I think, in people's lineups. Again, really good pitchers and dominating against the left-handed batters. And then we have those relievers too that seem to be really good. So Devil Dog Get, who seems to have all of them in Diamond. Really curious to see how they improve your team. Next.
Yeah, I think almost every team should be playing 3, if not 4. Again, the tough one is the lefty specialist, just because that's innately how it works, but it doesn't mean it's a bad card. It's a good card, right? So if your build allows, play all 4. If it doesn't, you should be playing all 3. I don't think there's a team out there that shouldn't be. So,
okay. There you go. Eddie Murray, Baltimore Oriole. Mr. E, I know, who is a viewer of the channel, he loves the Baltimore Orioles, loves the Ripkins, and even Billy Ripken, and back from the early 2000s. Here is the diamond card. Again, better lefty against left-handed pitchers. Range 59, but it's a first baseman. Not as important. And then we have the perfect Eddie Murray. Better range, but we see the splits a little different this time. Seems to be better in his perfect card against the righties. Not sure why. Maybe you can explain why there's the difference there. What do you think about Eddie?
He's good. I'm gonna just fact check myself a little bit before I talk about him, because yeah, that's about where I had him. All right, so the card is good, right? It's not blow me away. There's like probably a decent amount of other options I'd play, but again, if you're a newer player and you get this card because you're just running through missions, right? You can play him. You'll be fine. I think I'd probably slightly prefer, at least if you're platooning him, and you might want to because of the splits, like you pointed out, right? I would prefer somebody with a little bit more pop, right? And then you play two different cards, right? So you play somebody like a Casas, as somebody mentioned in the chat, versus righties, and then somebody else. Or one of my favorite cards right now that not enough people are playing is Curtis Mead. I think Curtis Mead is an elite first baseman as a gold card, and just more people should be playing him. Again, the card is okay. A lot of times with switch hitters, when you shrink the sample size, right, because they're a switch hitter, it's almost like you're looking at even less data, right, because they're hitting one way versus one pitcher and another way versus another pitcher, right, and so you get very different splits year to year on switch hitters. It's just probably historically how he looked. So one of those things, right, where it's a little unfortunate, because if this card had the VL of the diamond card, I'd be probably a lot higher on it. Maybe not. I mean, the eye gap is pretty big, right? But I think overall it's fine, right? It's not going to blow you away. If you get it and you don't have a lot of options, you can certainly play it, right?
And that's always the thing with first baseman, right? Is there's always so many elite first basemen that come into the game. We know in a couple of weeks we may or may not see something to do with Lou, who most likely will be a card everyone wants to go and get. So it's really tough for a lot of these really good first basemen from the past to find their way into the lineup because there's just so much competition at that position.
Yep. A very hard position to get into. Yep. It really is. Yeah, absolutely.
Next we go to another, utility guy that's played all three outfield positions. I think even some first base in his career with the Astros. One of the killer bees, Lance Berkman. There is the diamond card. Again, much better against the right-handed pitchers, other than the avoid K. And here is the perfect card. So obviously the defense is better, an extra position availability. Talk about Lance.
I mean, it's again one of those things, right, where we're looking at a bunch of cards that are like, potentially kind of first baseman right now, right? And then this card happened, right? And yeah, he's left field on the card, but I'm not playing 60 range in my outfield in a setting that has perfect cards, right? So as a first base VR option, I mean, obviously he's a top tier card. You probably still need a platoon partner for him, though he is actually less splitty than a lot of the other Berkmans so far, which is nice, right? But something I'd play if you have room to split up your first baseman. One of the better, if not the best option out there. Certainly at the top of my list, and he'll be probably pretty good there for a while. I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's such a crazily loaded position, right? But the first base on this card makes it a lot better, because otherwise I'm looking at DH and I'm a little unsure then. So,
and I do have to ask, because it's probably a Zoomer kind of thing. Do I want to know what Deeged is?
I think he's saying de-aged. I think he's saying I look like a younger version of you. Yeah.
De-aged. Okay. Well,
I mean, there is. Some people might know what one Deeged means, but that is a very different thing that probably isn't quite family friendly, though it's not terrible. I'll tell you after the stream. It's
Okay, well,
somebody in chat will know.
turn your head to the side there, and are we what? No, we don't need to see the back of your head, kidneys. Just there we go, the side. There we go. So
Side. I can't see when I do it. Yeah,
I did have reddish hair when I was kidneys age. I did have that reddishness in my hair, but I never went with the look of today, where a lot of the young kids out there have the full facial hair. So more so clean shaven when I was young. But Teddy, I will take that as a compliment. I absolutely will. De-aged. Okay. Well, back to the program here. Let's go on to a card that I was really looking forward to because I know how dominant the gold card was. I thought, hey, are we going to get a Chipper Jones that is just dominant in the game? And we've got the diamond chipper here. You can see, again, better against the lefties overall. The defense, you'd have to use him as a DH. And then we've got the peak Chipper Jones. I'll let you talk about this one. Give us what you got on Chipper.
Oh, Huey number 4 just opened. Well, I thought we had 4 already. I must have misread the fire poll. Congratulations, Mr. Furious. That's a huge card. You could say it's
wow. All right, we need to pause here because that is a huge moment. Mr. Furious 23 just opened number 4, Huey Jennings, which I think kidneys, the one that sold or the 2 that sold were just under 1 million perfect points. So high five.
As big as it gets right now. About as big as it gets right now. I think it's a shame it's not a 20 of, and then we had a much nicer number split on his card. I think people would pay premium money for that split. Anyway, a Chipper Jones. There's one issue with this card. Because it's a pretty nice looking card, right? It does really good bat. Obviously, I'd probably like a little more out of the glove, but third base, it doesn't seem to be as big of a deal this year. And arm is a lot more important at third base than other positions, right? Which means normally when we're looking at defense, we're looking a lot at that range rating to tell us how a card's going to do. And him having 80 arm actually is a big deal right here. The only issue I really see with this Chipper Jones card is Gunnar Henderson exists, right? And if I'm going to play a third baseman, well, why am I not playing Gunnar versus righties? And this card is a little bit worse versus lefties that maybe you still play it, but it's not like a must play like it would be versus righties versus other competition. So I think if you have, a ton of points, right, you'd much rather have a Gunnar. But for teams that don't have Gunnar, because Gunnar's a very expensive card,
you want to bring him up on your page there just to kind of show his kind of numbers there.
Gunnar's pretty crazy. And so I think, if you're somebody that can't have a Gunnar, which is a lot of people, it's a very expensive card. This is one of your best options right now. Would be Chipper. I'll be playing Chipper. I can't afford a Gunnar. But for those people up in Perfect or the people who've already invested in this one, because I do think this card's a pretty great investment. I would probably still rather play that, but overall, it's a very strong card. I would like it probably a little more if it had a little more glove on it, but it's not the biggest deal. It certainly can stand at third for now. So,
well, let me ask you this: I didn't plan for this question, so I'm catching you a little bit off guard. But other than an LE card right now, if you're opening a pack, who are you hoping you see? Is it Gunnar or is it someone else?
No LE card. It kind of depends on what I need. I think. There's 2 funny answers to this, right? Because you could just sort the card shop by highest L10 and look at non-limited, and it's still Gunnar. So I think Gunnar is probably the answer. If I had to add a card from a pack to my team and I couldn't sell it, I think I'd go with Gunnar or Kenny Lofton. If I didn't have an Addy Joss, maybe it's Addy Joss. I think that card is also extraordinarily above the competition for non-limited edition cards. But probably Gunnar, Kenny Lofton, Addy Joss are all in the mix there. So.
And some people mentioned they pulled an Addy Joss yesterday. Gunner, of course, you see those in the fire poles. Gorgo yesterday, I believe, or the day before, pulled the Kenny Lofton. So it's great to see a lot of these people that, the excitement around pulling a lot of these cards. We did get a question from, I don't know if you saw it, Used Chicken. Which pitch count would you use or would you recommend for Roberts in league? Is there a specific pitch count with that 119 stamina?
It's fascinating to me. So last year when their stamina was bugged for most of the year and they changed it toward the end of the cycle, right? The answer they said was like 110 to 120 pitches in modern environment, right? The problem is we found very quickly no pitcher could go 120 pitches. It couldn't happen. So I'm curious if this is getting closer to that amount. I would think though maybe if any pitcher went over 120 pitches, it probably just messes them up for future days. So probably you could do something around 115 and then that would probably be as high as I'd go.
And how about the pitcher round?
Times more. I mean, you can turn it all the way up. It depends a little bit on your school of thought. I remember last year when I did a lot of work on how sliders work and things like that. I found a lot of the sliders got worse on the edges, right? So you might even do better with Roberts at +3 than +5. When we talk about sliders, we do +5 to -5, and the middle is 0, right? So I think +3, 3 to the right, would be probably what I'd do. I don't normally tend to go higher. Maybe if he's still not walking anybody, I just go all the way up with it and see what happens.
And I know you're a big proponent. You've always been on hold runners, and that jumps out on this card here. So I'm sure you're cranking that, fairly far to the right as well on this card.
I turn it up on every card. I think a lot of people miss that it's just kind of good in general. I could be wrong on that. It's very hard to tell what sliders do, and there isn't like a super comprehensive guide. There was a little thing that Matt wrote on the forums 2 years ago when they got reworked, but it's not as in-depth as maybe I'd like it to be. So when I tested it, it was just better turning it up. It seemed to be that case when a player had bad and good hold runners, but again, I don't really go all the way. I don't go to the edges on pretty much anything right now. So.
All right. And the more I look at this card, the more I really like it. Like this, this is a really good starting pitcher card. Well, finished off with Chipper. We've got one more, and then we've got the topper to go through from today's set. And that is from Rich Grisham's New York Mets, the Diamond 99 Carlos Beltran. So we see very good eye, very good power. And previous to last week, this card would probably, do fairly well with that high eye and high power. The perfect card, a little bit more balanced, a lot more balanced. Really good defense here. This is a card I would imagine. I don't know if it takes out some of the ones that exist already, like a Bellinger, like a Mookie Betts, but really good in right field. What are the strengths and the weaknesses of the perfect Beltran?
Beltran's a really interesting one for a lot of reasons. This is a card pre the environment change. I was like, oh my gosh, this could be the best card. Like that bat on the diamond card would have just been incredible. It's a little bit of a different world now, right? And I love the defensive numbers, right? They're excellent. The problem is it's not quite a center fielder for me. Like if you're playing this and you're playing Mookie, I guess you put this in center field now, right? The problem is it lost, as we've said a few times today, it lost a bit of the beef going from diamond to perfect in the bat, where I'm not entirely sure it's like worse, but it doesn't feel a lot better. And the glove is just so borderline. Like it's going to be very good in right field, but there's a lot of pretty good right fielders right now. Like, am I going to play this over, Bellinger Mookie or a few of the other similar things like a Hayward Mookie platoon? I don't really think so. It's certainly pretty well rounded, right? Like it does a lot of things okay. The base stealing is a big deal. The problem is just in tournaments in general, I think it's super, super hard to steal anything. And it's a very similar profile to Jackie, maybe a slightly worse one. And not that I'm not stealing with Jackie, but Jackie still isn't stealing as much as I'd like. So again, I'm a little unsure what happens with this one right now. I think it's like a pretty well-rounded card. I don't know if it's quite there that I'd be like rushing to put it on my league team or something. So
yeah. Like 5 to 10 more outfield range, and I think those questions would be answered a lot easier. So yeah, really good, Carlos Beltran. I don't know how many people, if anyone in the chat has completed all the perfects, build a lineup. Yeah, put it in there. If you've completed them all, I know a lot of you said you had many of them auto completed, which is always a good thing. Then we get obviously to the topper, and by completing all the missions, you get the Mickey Mantle. And I think this is the first one this year so far, right? We didn't have any lower Mickey Mantles yet.
We do not. Or unless, hold on. I had a filter on. No, we don't. Okay.
And that's one thing I hear from year to year to year is people saying, I want that stud Mickey Mantle. Give me that extremely good Mickey Mantle. And this is the one we've got right now. Dish did say that it wasn't a peak. We don't see peak anywhere on the card here. So possibly we could see another Mickey down the road, whether that's LE or any kind of other version. Lot to like here, isn't there?
There is. I think on the notes of it not being a peak, I don't even know if a peak is interesting this year, right? It seems a little different than previous years in the fact that we're taking single season hitting stats a little more literally, and therefore, from what I recall, this was his best hitting season. I could be incorrect on that. I'm gonna try and double check it, but if it was, right, maybe the peak has like a lot worse bat, and you know, even if we get a much better glove out of it, maybe it's not quite there, though. I mean, he had such an incredible career. I wouldn't be surprised either way. The bat on this one is just ridiculous, right? Like, nothing's close, really, at all to what we have. I don't think PTCS Yaz is remotely close to this bat. And I
bring him up on your screen. Can you bring him up, Yaz, on your screen, just so we can kind of do a quick visual there?
Yeah, certainly. You know, VR maybe. It's closer. I would still prefer the Mantle. I think that top end eye is normally very valuable. And then versus lefties, right? It's not really comparable. So you're looking at you're probably looking at a much better hitter. Obviously, it does not have anywhere near Yaz's glove. So if you have a Yaz, train it in center field if you weren't already. That's certainly what you should be doing with it. It's going to take a month, but it's probably worth it. I think for me, Mantle is probably just my DH now. You could certainly play him in left field if you wanted to. But I'm just probably going to throw him at DH. I don't think I had like a great DH going into it. And there's some other similar cards I'd probably rather play in the field. But I mean, it in theory should be very, very hard to top this card as a hitter, right? It's completely off the charts in a lot of areas right now. And I just should be great for a long time. This is one of those cards, as chat mentioned earlier, right, that gets better as a switch hitter, right? Because not only is it kind of have different, fun, interesting splits in the way that it's a lefty, more of a contact on base guy, and righty, I mean, 136 power is top of the food chain right now. And then, it balances out the other way. So I think it's a very, very good card. It is not a center fielder. Don't do that. Don't put it in center field. Play it elsewhere. Not really a base stealer, but the good base running is also much appreciated. I think that has a lot of value this year, probably a lot more than a lot of people realize. So yeah, I mean, best hitter in the game. I don't think it's remotely close either. So it's just kind of how are you going to use him once you have him? Because I think these are pretty accessible missions. I think most people should be able to do these if you're playing all the time pretty easily, right? So.
And that's what I was going to ask you about do you do anything with the sliders on Mickey Mantle for speed and stealing and base running? Because again, we see really good stealing and base running, and you've always said stealing should be higher than speed. Do you adjust them at all, or do you just leave them on your global slider?
You don't let him steal. I've talked about this a lot on this stream. Your stealing needs to be turned off. If you have a player that can steal, override and turn it on, right? But like, there's no reason to have the global slider on at all when probably 3/4, like 90% of your players should not be running. The base running you'll turn up, right, for sure. But don't steal them. Please stop.
Yeah, and that's one of those. You talk about the extremes on the sliders, and you tend not to go to one edge or the other, but stealing definitely is one that you want on the far left.
Right, because stealing at 0 basically means never run. It might mean run once in a blue moon. We're a little unsure. Guys still get caught stealing, and some of it might be hit and run. Some of it we're suspicious if you get picked off, it's considered a caught stealing, even if you weren't trying to run necessarily, because that's a thing that can happen. But yeah, in general, turn it off.
All right. Well, that comes to the card of the set. Other than the Mickey Mantle one, which again, just a really, really awesome card. But from the build a lineup set, whether it's a diamond, whether it's a perfect, and I think we both agree that the perfects by far outweigh the diamonds in this set. Little disappointed in the George Davis. Probably that would be my biggest disappointment card, hoping for a better George Davis. I like those old school baseball players. Not that he doesn't have use in some formats. For me, I'm going to go to probably one of the relievers. I do like, really curious how Lavelle does as a reliever. Seems to look really good on the surface. We'll find out very soon whether, he is a must-have in the bullpen. That is my card of the set, more so out of curiosity with the numbers we see there. How about you?
I think it's sort of a tie for me personally. So either Roberts or Lolik are both excellent starting pitchers. Starting pitching was an area I think needed a little bit of juice. So very excited to see how both these two cards play. I think, again, they should be on everybody's team that has them. Really, really, really good options. So happy to see that. I will certainly be playing them on my team.
If you had to pick one, I think you said you liked the Lolich a little bit better, right?
I think the Lolik is a slightly better pitcher. I would pick Roberts as a favorite. I've always been a Robin Roberts fan. Favorite doesn't have to be the best card, right? So.
And look at that contact.
Didn't one of the pitchers had a lot of eye today, right? If I remember correctly. Lolik has 76 eyes, so that's kind of scary too, right?
Oh. Hey, a little bit off track, but now that I'm thinking of it, when you enter these tournaments that have no DH, when you're drafting, how much effort are you putting into taking pitchers that have a little bit of hitting ability? Is there any extra consideration in that, or are you still going to be focused on the pitcher aspect of it?
I can actually just run a quick check. Off the top of my head, other than Dehigo, I don't think there's anybody super competitive as a hitter. I'll double check though, just to make sure. But obviously Jimmy Ryan, but Jimmy Ryan, you shouldn't be pitching. You should just be playing in the outfield or DH. Like he's not a actual quality enough pitcher for that to matter. Unless it's a format like in 1919 where you don't need your bullpen, and then he counts as a bullpen slot and a hitter, right? And therefore you make him a two-way and you don't give him a role and you never let him pitch. So is there anybody else?
What about double duty? I think he's a silver, but he's probably not good enough.
Double duty, like in a perfect draft, I'll take as a backup catcher because he has excellent catcher defense. Steel Arm Davis looks like he can hit a little bit, and maybe Lewis Hampton, and that's the end of the list for sure. Lewis Hampton's actually got 83 power, so maybe.
Oh.
I don't think he's a great pitcher, though, off the top of my head. I don't think Steel Arm was that good either. So, like, if the question is, do I play a card that Steel Arm, not great. Do I play a card that, like, I wouldn't normally play at pitcher because he hits? Probably 99% of the time, no. Like, I'm not going to play Lewis Hampton or Steel Arm Davis because they can't really pitch well enough in a DH format. I would just much rather play a better pitcher. The exceptions, again, are probably Double Duty and Dahigo, because they can do both. So, again, if you're not like good at something, it's not worth, being there. You have no value, right? Competitively.
So at this point in the game, don't focus on pitchers that can hit. When you have a non-DH lineup, still go for those premium pitchers, regardless of what type of bat they have.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, the moment of the show, as we get towards the end here, that many people start opening packs at the same time we do, just to see if they can beat our scores. And as Snail Man said last week, we are overachievers, Kidney. We tend to do better than what the numbers dictate. So we are currently tied at 3 apiece here. Yes, the Zoomer and the Gen Xer, 3 weeks, 1 each. And again, the numbers at the top just kind of reflect our overall point total in those 6 weeks, 68 to 57. Those don't really matter. This is kind of like game 7. In that playoff series, it goes to a game 7. And the only good thing is I've got home field now, because all the home teams have won each week, which is kind of amazing. I won the first 3 at home. You won the next 3 at home. And this is kind of like that penultimate final. The way we do it now is 9 packs each. And depending on the cards that are pulled, 7 points for a perfect, 5 for a diamond, 4. Well, I guess, should we include the build a lineups, the bronze? Might as well.
Yeah, let's include the bronze build a lineups.
Okay.
It's a little more fun. 2
for any gold. And of course, we do have a mystery point. And if we are tied, sudden death innings, okay, until we get a point winner, we'll go half inning by half inning to see if we need to break a tie. Of course, we always go for our mystery point. Last week, it was Kidneys wins in case of a tie. I'm going to say 52. I think the
52,
number 50.
I always think we're going to hit 69, so I'm hoping for it once again.
All right, let's find out what our mystery card is. Well, we got
55.
55. So Iron 55 will give us a bonus point.
I think that's one of Snailman's favorite numbers.
Is his 55?
He does like his 55. So I will say also, it's quite fitting. Home field has won every game so far. Home field advantage is real in baseball. I don't think a lot of people know that. And it's also real in out of the park. It's actually quite a significant deal.
Really?
Neutral ballpark home field advantage is 55-45. So somewhere roughly around there. Might be a little higher, a little lower, depending on there's Snellman, depending on what happens. So yeah, it's fitting, right, in a lot of ways. So.
Snellman says his IQ is.
Yes, I was setting him up for it. It's an old video he showed me.
Okay. So the bronze build a lineup were 4 points if we pull a bronze build a lineup. So those will count. All right. Well, before we get going, let me just make sure I have my screen set up so we can switch over. Let's swap that out and put that in. All right. Game 7. Gen Xer versus the Zoomer here. Kidneys gets to go first. Top of the first inning. What do we got?
Let's see it. Ooh, no 55. No build lineup.
I've got Randy Johnson on the mound today, just so you know. Randy Johnson.
You know what? I was going to say I was going to pick somebody who historically was good into Randy Johnson, but it's probably a small list, and I was too young to remember who it would be. So maybe Chat can help me out here. Chat, who do I need to hit Randy Johnson?
I'm thinking maybe Chris Sale.
John Kruk is the answer. I'll go with John Kruk.
Okay. Bottom of the first inning. Here we go. Top of the order up. 55 or build a line.
Oh no! Come on, bro. What is Hyunjin Ryu doing? Come on, man.
Okay.
He's a young candidate.
Let's go. We've got 2 gold card. Hoping for. I don't think I can improve on there because there were no build a lineup. So it's going to be 4 points regardless.
Could be a limited.
Oh yeah, could be. Could have been the Lima card. Yeah. So at the end of the first inning, we have 4-0. All right. You're known for your comebacks.
Let's hope so. Nothing here again.
Nothing there. So, Randy Johnson pitching a gem. Have to check if there were any 55s. Nope, no 55s. Okay, we go to the bottom of the second. Close, a 56. Scoreless for Randy Johnson. 4-0 after 2. We go to the top of the third.
Come on. That's not it again. Oof.
Okay, I need to take advantage of this.
Kind of cheating hiding Randy Johnson for Game 7, huh? This whole time he was just sitting there.
He was well rested. He didn't even travel to Boston. He stayed at home.
He's rusty. I'll make it back.
Okay, I got to increase this lead. 4 is not enough because all you need is a diamond to pass me. Bottom of the third. I don't see any 55s there. So whoever you've got pitching, they've settled down. Top of 4.
Well, Ryu was actually an opener, so we pulled him after an inning. So hopefully we'll be good now.
Oh, okay. Watch 2 diamonds pop up.
No, I mean, switching the pitcher doesn't help me hit the baseball, does it now?
That's true. Doesn't. Yeah. Randy Johnson's only pitched 18 pitches, so I think 19 pitches. So he's got a little left in the tank. Bottom of 4. There's a 55.
And
we squeak one out. In the bottom of the 4th, we go to the top of the 5th inning. Randy on the mound.
Let's see it. Come on.
Top of 5.
Oh, gosh. Is this how it ends?
You really wanted a 57, I think. 57 would have been your number.
I've had a lot of them. I'm saving it up. We're building up for a big rally.
Well, we're probably on the snail man ratios now because it's only 5-0. We go to the bottom of 5, top of the order, up for laptop pound.
Very nice. Hopefully it's a historical and it's something for today's missions. That would be excellent.
All right. Well, maybe it'll be a Randy Johnson. Or a Manny Machado.
We've been Machadoed.
So diamond is 5, I believe, correct?
Yeah, so I think that doubles your score, right?
Yeah. So we head to the top of the 6th inning. 10-0. Randy Johnson still's got 70% left in the tank. No one's up in the bullpen yet.
It's not looking good. It's really not looking good. Another 57 here. I might be close if we were counting 57s and not 55s.
Yeah, that would you would have had at least 3 points, maybe more. All right, we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. We've got the number 5, 6, 7 hitter up, so maybe a gold. Nothing. Key hold there. It is 10-0 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Randy Johnson still on the mound.
Let's see it.
Ooh. Can I say
Was
we
the
go
third
to
time
this.
through the order penalty? Where is it? It should have kicked in now. I should be getting hits. That's how the game works.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think so, Kidneys, but it's Randy. Peak Randy Johnson.
Peak Randy Johnson. You sure you don't want a single season one? They're the rage right now.
Well, we're in the 7th inning stretch. Do you want to sing? Take me out to the ball. Take me out to the crowd. For all the little kids out there, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. No? Okay.
No, I was in a choir when I was a kid. I wasn't good then. I'm much worse now.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 7th inning. And nothing for Lap. Well, you dominate the 8th inning usually. Usually that is your inning. We go to the top of the 8th. 2 diamonds will tie it up. That's all you need.
Nothing.
Randy
It's either going to be a very dramatic finish or a very anticlimactic game 7.
Okay. I just want a 55, because I think a 55 will seal it for me, because you could pull 2 diamonds. That's not impossible. So here we go. Bottom of the 8th inning. Randy Johnson smiling from the dugout, saying, come on, boys. One more run.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
We've got a gold, and it is Kurt Suzuki.
Possibly in one of the missions today. Not sure.
Possibly. So it is down to this. It is the top of the 9th inning. Randy Johnson looking to finish it off. He's no hitter going, no walks. This is it. This could be a perfect game for Randy Johnson. Show us what you got, Kidneys.
You know, if I get Huey Jennings, I win it, right?
Well, Pee Wee Jennings would be
14,
7.
right? No, isn't he an LE and a perfect?
Huey Jennings. Yeah, it would give you the lead.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You could win. You could walk off. All right, I'm shooting for the moon.
Here we go.
Not enough. Not enough. Not enough.
That is a good card, though. What is it? It's a
Jeff Tesreau. It is in the Robin Roberts mission right now.
Well, there you go. You said Roberts was your favorite pitcher today. You've got him. That's 5 points.
Don't worry, I'm only 700% complete on this mission, so I think I might be able to finish it.
All right. Well, we are at our last ad break here. Contest coming up soon, guys. The Kidneys rant on our way. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Kidneys, go take a cold shower. We'll be back to finish off the show. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. Be back soon. This is the Hawk Report number 8. Welcome back in, everyone. The Beavis and Butthead version of the show today. Wonderful, wonderful show. Wonderful cards that we got to look at. Great competition. 12-5, the final score in Game 7 of the Zoomer Gen Xer Showdown. One of my favorite segments of the show is to rip those packs and open those packs. So thank you guys for sticking with us. We've got a few more minutes to go here. Contest coming up in about 5 minutes, so stay tuned. We will let you enter in about 5 minutes to win some packs and hopefully rip better cards than Kidneys and I did today. And I believe we will be raiding into EVC, who already is busy working out the numbers and figuring out who won his Guess the Set contest from yesterday. So I believe he will be popping up very soon on stream here, and we will raid into him in about 10 minutes time. All right, so let me just change a few windows here.
I will say, EVC, I win every single week, and he never gives me the points for it, never talks about me on stream. I've won every single Guess the Set so far this year. I don't know why he keeps denying me my wins. It's crazy.
Really? Well, see, I know I've come second, so I should get at least 5 packs, because when I add the numbers, they're extraordinary. So maybe we should maybe we should look into this a little bit more and figure out what's going on. Like, Kidneys, what happened there?
I went to put my water down and it slipped, and I went to catch it, and I hit F5 on the keyboard, and I refreshed the page.
I thought maybe EVC popped in there and, was roughing you up behind the scenes a little bit there. Jeez.
Yeah, he's actually knocking at my door. I have to go. I think he's gonna stop me from making jokes about winning, which is not a joke. I've won every single one. He just refuses to admit it.
Well, yeah, no doubt. Like that, there's something wrong with his system because
I know his math has got to be bad. It's pretty.
But you know what? He's from New York, so maybe give him a break. Like
that's true. That's true. See, Charles is saying he guessed all 12 last set and he won as well. So something's wrong here. Something's definitely wrong.
Well, here's the thing, Kidneys. Like, did you actually put years, or did you just guess the players?
Oh no, I got every year, player, overall number, all the ratings on the card exactly right. I entered an essay, right? So.
Well, okay. We'll file a complaint with the OOTP giveaway department, and we'll see how far that goes. Well, people watching all across, we've got people from all over the world still watching today. Thank you for tuning in. But this is a segment that put your ear to the microphone, or put your ear to the speaker here. You're gonna want to hear this. The Kidney 2-minute rant. Let me know when you're ready, Kidney. I'm not going to put a timer on you for this one here. I'm just going to let you talk. I know what this rant is about, so Kidney has the floor for as long as he needs it. We'll let you go when you're ready.
Give me a sec. All right, let's do it. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not.
Yep. So there's been a lot going on lately, and I think we're gonna have a bit of a talk over the next few days. As of now, and for the next while, I'll be stepping away from Perfect Team. I think the current gameplay conditions for competitive play is just not something I enjoy anymore. There's, a lot going into it. It's been a hot topic. I'll be talking about it over the next 2 days because I have 2 more streams scheduled before I step away. So we can talk about a few things, right? I know there's going to be a lot of questions, right? So I have kind of a list here to go over. What does it mean? I don't play Perfect Team. Like I said, I'm just not really enjoying the gameplay loop, the content progression. So if that changes, or maybe not till Out of the Park 25, I'll come back, I'll give it a shot, right? It means Perfect Team related streams are probably done for now. Very, very much done for now. There may be alternate content. Maybe I'll play Marvel Snap. Maybe I'll do base game. You'll probably still see me once in a blue moon on Yuka's channel. You can still DM me. I know a lot of people talk to me all the time about the game. Just don't ask me, do I play X player or Y player on my lineup? Like, if you want more general, how to model, how to play the game questions, totally okay with that. Feel free to, keep talking. The spreadsheet will stop. I know there isn't an updated version out right now. The goal is over the next week or two to get a version of the gold sheet and the league spreadsheet out. I'm not guaranteeing it, but that is the idea still, as I will put out one more spreadsheet, really 2 more spreadsheets before I'm done. My Discord, which is a very active place these days, I really enjoy hanging out in there. It's not changing at all. I'll still be very active. I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not enjoying the game, really, so I'm not going to play it as much. Few notes more on the streaming side of things, right? This will be the last Hawk report for now. If I return to playing the game, I will be back with Laptop Hound permitting. I know we talked about that a little bit, but I will certainly be back here if I'm playing the game at a level where I feel comfortable analyzing cards again. Tomorrow will be the final stream with Warbot, with Charles, who's in the chat. And that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll go over a bunch of the things going on in the game right now competitively and how we're feeling about things like that. Probably maybe review some of the cards as well. I'm kind of unsure on that. Saturday night, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, will be the final Perfect Team stream on my channel. I'll probably have like a 30, 40 minute write up about how I'm feeling and why I want to do things I do and some of the issues, complaints I have with the state of things right now. And then for the rest of the hour, we'll talk with chat. It won't be more than an hour. We'll be rating Yuka at the end of it. Again, the spreadsheet's probably sometime in the next week or two. I do want to say thank you. There's been a lot of people over the years who've helped me kind of have a platform and be able to do what I do. So special shout out to DRC, RDT24, Charles from Warbot TVD, and Chris Jardine, as well as a lot of other people for enabling me to, review content, have a platform, come on with me, work with me to check out these things. And of course, finally, very, very special thank you to Mr. Laptop Hound here, because he kind of brought me out of retirement. I was streaming, but I was really kind of floating around a little aimlessly. And the spotlight you've given me to talk about all the work I put into this game and some of the things I've picked up on over the years, and just try and help people win, because winning is fun. I know so many people a lot of the time talk about, I just play to have fun. A lot of people, it's more fun when you win, and that's, I'm a competitive player at heart. I always have been. And you've done such a wonderful job translating me to more casual friendly players and just giving me a platform to kind of talk about it. So thank you. I really appreciate you. And you've been just phenomenal, excellent partner to work with. So give a lot of love to Laptop Hound. He's a phenomenal guy. He's done so much for the out of the park content creator sphere. So again, final notes. I'm stepping away from now. I'm just not enjoying the competitive aspect of things. There will be a stream at 2 p.m. tomorrow on Warbot when I talk with Charles about it, and then a final stream 8 p.m. on my channel Saturday night. Thank you, everybody. Everybody in chat is, why I've enjoyed doing this for so long, and y'all are phenomenal people and make playing this game such a better place. So thank you, everybody, as well.
And I know, how difficult this must have been for you, Kidneys, to, step away for now and to say what you've had. And I know Kidneys reached out to me a couple of days ago and kind of told me, what his plans were, and I fully respect that. I've always had kind of I wouldn't say a close relationship with Kidneys, but there's always been kind of a bond I felt with Kidneys. He was the first guy I went to when I asked about how to get involved as an affiliate streamer. And we haven't seen the last of Kidneys. I will just say that. We haven't seen the last of him. He will be on, tomorrow. He will be on with his own show tomorrow night as well. And he will be back. He will be back in one way, shape, or form at some point. So I want to thank you, Kidneys, because I think we've made a good team in terms of the generational difference, the talking off of each other, the joking around, the different content that we've been able to provide people. We have 380 some people still here right now, even though most of them already have their drops already. They're still here watching, and I thank all of you that are watching. And a big, huge thank you to YourKidnies for being part of the Hawk Report for 8 episodes. And like I said, we haven't seen the end of him. This is one talented OOTP player that I really, really would hope the best for. And, if OOTP ever hires in the future and looking for input for the game and how the game is played, YourKidnies is at the top of my list in terms of consultations and giving advice and giving input. He really is. He knows the cards. He knows the players for Perfect Team, and just a wonderful guy that I've had the pleasure of dealing with over the last 8 episodes. So thank you once again, YourKidnies. And let's end off with a little bit of fun and let's give away some packs here to some people because that's what we like to do. We like to help people enjoy the game just a little bit more. So I'm going to set this up here. And then we'll go to any final comments that you might have after the giveaway or during the giveaway. And then we're going to go right into and find out the winners from the Guess the Set contest. All right. So we're going to give away two sets of packs today. 10 packs for the first name drawn and 5 packs for the second name that is drawn. And we are underway. Exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. Rob Deer in the headlights with the quickest fingers of the day. He already had it. He was just, his finger was on that enter button and just like, hurry up, do it, hit the button. And he is in. So within 17 seconds, we have 60 entries, Kidneys. People are here. They love what you have to offer. Hopefully they love what I have to provide as well. And it's a strange last couple of days once I found out what the plans were. But like I said, respect Kidney's decision. He's a great, great young man with a very bright future in whichever direction he decides to go. So we'll give you about another minute and a half here to get entered. We're at 101 entries, exclamation ticket, exclamation enter. Again, Kidneys and I from different generations, but at least he knew word. He knew catch my drift, eat my shorts, tubular, where's the beef, and many other words that I can't put up here that were used in the 80s. Any other comments here, Kidney, while we're waiting for people to get entered?
Not really. I saw some questions about one entry. I also had a thought. Why of all the streamers to reach out to about how to stream Perfect Team, I was probably about the bottom of the list. If anybody wants to know how to do Perfect Team or like just out of the park affiliate stuff in general, talk to Laptop Pound or EVC. Don't message me. My stream is terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what drew me to contact you of all the people. Maybe it's because I watched your streams the most at that time, and because I wanted to be better at Perfect Team, and to be better at Perfect Team, you got to follow Your Kidneys, and so maybe that's why. Maybe because you were the streamer that I was getting Perfect Team information from. But yeah, good to know. Don't reach out to Kidneys.
That's not
all
my
right.
area of expertise at all.
Let's give it another less than a minute here to go, and then we'll do our 10-second countdown. EVC, if you're in the chat, you are in the chat. Are you ready to go? Do you have everything up and running to raid into? Just double check here. Doesn't look like you're live yet. At least not what I can see. Or are you going a little bit later? Just starting now? Okay. You got the 30-second warning, exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. You have to have a Perfect Team account to win these prizes. 113 entered. I think that might be a record. 10 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Giveaway is closed. Tycho was the last one in. Let's see if that helps win the packs. All right. Winner of 10 standard packs goes to the suspense. My StreamYard is lagging a little bit, so we're going to let it kick in here. It should draw it in just a second. Jeff Steel Flex 47. Jeff Steel Flex. I need your Perfect Team username. So please put that in the chat. There you go. He's got the let's go. Let me know what your perfect team username is. And the winner of 5 standard packs goes to... Come on, Stream Elements. Come on. There we go. Geoman 153. Geoman 153. You're in the chats. Leave your perfect username, and we'll get those out within the next couple days. So stay tuned. They may come today. They may come tomorrow. Hopefully you'll get them within the next 48 hours. All right, let me just double check. Did we see any confirmation of usernames? Didn't see any there. We got the winners. We're just waiting for the usernames. That's to go Gucci. Okay, we got Jeff Steele Flex. And just waiting on Geoman. All right. Well, thanks again once again, Your Kidneys, for the past 8 episodes. Yes, I will still be on at my regular time. I don't know what kind of format it will take next Thursday. I have my regular shows on Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to keep my same time slot next Thursday. We'll just figure what kind of format there is. And, if you want to apply and be a co-host, send your resumes to Laptop Hound on Discord. And you will go through, just like Kidneys did, a rigorous interview process. This guy was put under the fire with all the questions he asked. And, one good thing is I was running out of Kidneys face pictures. And it would be kind of weird for me to say, "Hey, kid, can you come in for a photo shoot?"
Oh,
it would have been really, really awkward for me to ask him of that. So
I've done it before. I think I had to do it for something I was working with DRC for. He asked for a bunch of different faces for me to make. We had an artist working with us back then. That's a weird experience.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it any weirder. So this has been the Hawk Report. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We are going over to EVC and find out the winners of the Guess the Set contest. I am back Monday at 1:15 Eastern Standard Time. Kidneys, what time tomorrow with Warbot?
2 p.m. Eastern on Warbot's channel. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on my channel. Saturday will be the final stream. So.
Okay. And a little side high five there. There we go. Okay. This has been episode number 8 of the Hawk Report. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, don't go anywhere. We're going to raid over to EVC. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Good pack openings. Go complete those missions. Get the pictures on your staff. Thanks, Kidneys. See you next episode.